Shane New, Holton, Kansas, farmer stockman. I got the wonderful opportunity to talk about soil health, talking about the life in the soil. You know, this has become a passion of mine to understand, how this process started of soil health. I've probably taken it overboard. I spent a lot of time, with a microscope, looking at soil, looking at the life of the soil, and understanding how we can become more productive by understanding the soil biology. Well, it goes back to the soil principles. It's understanding, we've got to stop the tillage. And the reason why we need to stop the tillage is because, we've got this life in the soil. This fungal component, when we till and we expose that biology, we destroy it. There's thousands and thousands of years of research and development to put these healthy prairies together. And in a matter of several decades, we've destroyed a lot of this life. And it's starting to understand the physiology, what this life looks like underneath the microscope, how we can make this life productive within our current agricultural systems. Probably the question I get most often is the reiteration. Definitely people who've started doing their own due diligence of understanding things is this fungal component, this mycorrhizal. This is a whole new world that, even though we've grown up in agriculture our entire lives, we've never heard anything like this. But people have known about it for decades, if not millennia. They made it kind of, they could see it, but they didn't really understand it. And we're just starting to understand it. The future looks so bright if we start understanding how we can make this function within our systems. Understand the soil is simple as taking a shovel out in the soil. A tool that everyone has, and going out there and physically stepping on the soil, pulling the shovel back, and looking, observing for yourself. Smelling the soil for yourself, feeling it. Are you starting to see aggregation? Are you starting to see this or that? And start identifying the people that you listen to. I'm starting to see this, I'm starting to see crumbles. I'm starting to see earthworm castings. I'm starting to see earthworm holes. We don't have to go and invest vast amounts of wealth. A shovel is all you need. I started no-tilling in 1996. That's when I bought my first no-till drill. I started utilizing cover crops, and all this was by accident. It wasn't by design. The cover crop started for me because it just made sense to me to have something growing on the land, but there was nothing growing. I'm in for livestock feed. I'm a cattleman. I need feed. We started rotational grazing in 2009. But, it was through just looking and reading newspaper articles or magazine articles about little tidbits about soil health. These little fragments we would catch, and it just grew more interest. You were doing this, but you didn't really understand why you were doing it. And then finally, we're in an era now where there's no more excuses. When you can carry around basically a computer in your pocket, call anybody in the world or research anything you want to, by sitting in a chair at some remote location, there's no more excuses for the lack of knowledge. All this is out there for people to absorb and to understand. Change, what you're doing now. First thing you got to do, and comes from a quote from Gabe Brown, but he uses it in his talks from Don Campbell, I think, is the gentleman whose quote Gabe Brown uses. But we got to change the way we see things. That's it in a nutshell. We are taught, as producers, part of this is through education, part of it is visual. We are visual learners. We grew up watching, I watched what my grandparents did. I watched what my neighbors did. And with some academic behind me, that's what I did. Like I said, and this is a whole new era. We have to completely rethink our whole thought process of what we're doing. And some people are apprehensive about that, and some people are gravitating towards it. There's a quote that I really like. It says, you better come to the table or you're going to become part of the menu. And that's the way I look at this. I don't want to be on the back side of this. I want to be on the front of it. Because I see it. I understand the life in the soil. I understand, there was a productive system long before we showed up. And it's starting to put these pieces together. You know, just like we're building an aggregate, but in our mind, of how we've got to nurture this and grow it. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all human. And I mean, if your fear is to fail, you're never going to attempt anything. I mean, I couldn't count the number of failures I've had in my life. But you know, some little bittersweet moments that you get to capture, that you remember. And that's the way I look at it. Is, I mean, if you got to look at things, I mean, you got to open your mind up when you start doing things. And this is just more than just worrying about your, you know, your farm and stuff. You know, you're starting to concern yourself with your entire ecosystem, your community. I mean, I guarantee you, nobody would be married if they didn't have a fear of going up and asking someone to dance. And it's that same kind of fear. Once you know, you're going to get rejection, and failure is going to come. But you still got to get up and go ask. And that's the way I look at it.